So like I mentioned, after every unit we have a lesson or a section called Test Your Learning. And in this lesson you are asked to complete a problem. For this Test Your Learning 1, you're asked to write a program that asks the user to enter two numbers, and your program should then print the sum of those two numbers. So here I give an example of that. So your program should say something like enter a number. And so for example, if the user entered 4.5 and they press enter, your program should then ask them for the second number. So enter a number. And so if the user enters 5, your program should then print the sum of 4.5 and 5 is 9.5 and maybe a full stop. Okay, so this is the program that I want you to write. And so I'm going to help you with some comments. The first thing we need to do is to ask the user to enter the first number. The next thing we need to do is to ask the user to enter the second number. Alright. The third thing we need to do is to convert the numbers, so convert the inputs to numbers. Okay. And finally we need to print the sum to the console. Okay. Now, there's one thing I want to mention. Your numbers could have decimal points. So for that, I would like for you to use a float for both numbers. Okay. So whenever there is a possibility that your inputs could have decimal points, right? So for example, the user could enter a decimal point for this one, or they could also enter a decimal point for this one. So it makes no sense to actually convert them to ints. Alright? So what we do, we convert them to floats. And how do we do that? We simply use the float function. So if we enter something like 4.5, okay, it will convert it to 4.5. Okay? So I don't want you to use int function. I want you to use the float function in this problem. Alright? Great. So work on this problem, and in the next video I will show the solution, and the solution will be there so that you can compare your answer with my answer. Now keep in mind that there are many ways to code a solution. So if your answer does not look exactly like mine, it does not mean that it is incorrect. Okay? Once your code provides the correct solution, alright, then your code is presumed to be correct. Great. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next Test Your Learning.